On this episode, another non-Dodge. Welcome back to Your Par. That's right, another non-Dodge Mopar, and this time we're stepping a little bit further out of the box, and its owner Dennis is going to show us all about it. Dennis, welcome and thanks for being on. What kind of car did you bring out?
I've got a 1973 American Motors Javelin AMX.
Okay, and what's our drivetrain?
It has a 360 V8 with a 4-barrel carburetor, a Borg Warner T10 transmission with a Hurst shifter, and a Dana rear end in the car.
Okay, and so for those that maybe don't know, AMC had Javelins in two generations, 68 to 1970 and 71 to 74. This is a second gen car. Dennis, any way you can kind of show my viewers some of the things that make this a second gen car and a 73 for that matter?
Yeah, well, the second generation cars were longer than the first generations, and they were a little bit wider. They also, the front end was longer than the first generation.
Yeah.
And they added these fender arches in the fenders. In the front, it kind of carries over to the back of the car on the back fenders.
Yeah, this fender arch is one of those like telltale signs. Like you see the silhouette and you know that's a Javelin, right?
Yeah. And the car has a nickname of being the Humpster because of those fenders.
That's funny. And we were kind of talking off camera. It also has, and you probably can't see it on camera, but it has like a little like spoiler here, right?
Yeah, it's got a little spoiler built into the roof.
Okay.
That was put there when they were Trans Am racing.
Okay.
They used that. They did that for Trans Am racing, and then the rear spoiler is also. They developed that for the Trans Am races, and then they carried that over to the production car also.
Okay, and it's also kind of the reason you have the big hump on the fender and the wide fender in the back, right? It was because they were putting race tires underneath it. And
take the bigger tires.
And it was racing the TA series, which if you watch the episode with the modern Challenger TA, John, our guest there, kind of hinted at that TA series, right? It was the AMX, the CUDA AAR, and the Challenger TA. We'll come into that.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis and I are going to take a quick walk around and show you some of those other features, so if you see one at a car show or driving down the road, you know what you're looking at. So out back on the Javelin, Dennis, what kind of makes this a 73? Because this does have some special parts to it that make it a 73, right?
Right. The biggest thing is the taillights.
Okay.
In 73, they changed the taillights from the bar that went all the way across the back. They changed it to the quad taillights.
Okay.
On it. Also, the Go Pack cars got the blackout treatment on the bumper and the back panel here. This car originally wasn't a Go Pack car, but I added the black.
It was the look you like.
Yeah.
Right on. Another thing you can tell on the back is just how tall this spoiler is. My goodness, I mean, they really put a spoiler on there.
Yeah,
that's
a big
spoiler. And did they come factory with dual exhaust, or is that something you added?
No, it came with dual exhaust.
Dual exhaust,
yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty awesome, and we're gonna go ahead and walk up front and check it out and see what we can find. All right, Dennis, we've moved up front. What do we have going on up here that tells us it's a Gen 2 Javelin?
Well, the biggest thing is the mesh grille in the front of the car.
Okay.
This piece here, that only came on the AMX models. The grille behind it is the same grille as you got on a regular Javelin.
Okay.
And they just added that piece there with the AMX logo on the front of it.
Okay. And it has a Javelin badge on it, obviously.
Yes.
And like you can really see those fender humps from the front view, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And one thing I've noticed kind of as we've been walking around is the crush bumpers, the 5 mph bumpers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing I think AMC kind of prided themselves on the Javelin, right? Was they were kind of tiny compared to other cars. Like if you look like at a CUDA or a Barracuda, they're pretty big and bulky, but Javelins are pretty tiny. I kind of dig it.
Even on some other AMC cars like the Matador and stuff, the bumper was bigger than they are on the Javelin.
Yeah,
you could tell it was a safety bumper.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool, and that is one way to tell a Javelin apart is from those little bump stops. Mm-hmm. It also has a pretty cool little chin spoiler on the bottom. I love the bright yellow color, the black stripe. The thing just looks awesome, and it's every bit of what you'd want from a 70s car.
Yeah, it is. The spoiler was a factory option.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't standard, and I added that later. The car didn't come with that when I bought it.
Oh, okay. But that is a factory feature?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Well, tell you what, next thing we'll do is go ahead and pop the hood and check out that 360, okay?
Okay.
So we've got the hood popped, exposing that 360. Dennis, tell me a little bit about that engine.
Well, that's the original engine that came in the car. It's a 360 V8 4-barrel carburetor. As far as I know, it's never been taken apart. The car has 78,000 miles, I believe, on it right now. Like I said, it's a numbers matching car.
And it looks like did somebody add power steering, or is that factory?
Yes, the power steering was added by the previous owner.
Okay.
And I believe it also has a different radiator than what came in the car.
Okay. And so for the people that have viewed a bunch of episodes, you always know that I kind of point out distributor location. The AMC is a little different. The 360 is considered a small block, and the distributor is up front, unlike the Mopars, where the Mopar small blocks distributors in the back, big block distributors in the front. Now, one thing that's kind of catching my eye is this color. Is that a factory AMC color on that block?
Right. That's the way all the AMCs came from the factory, like in the early 70s. I think it changed later on to just a non-metallic light blue.
Okay. Well, I totally dig it, and again, it's all 70s, and that's what makes it kind of awesome. So let's go ahead and shut the hood, and let's go row some gears together.
Okay.
So here we are in the Javelin, taking a quick spin, and I want to give you a quick history on AMC. So it was actually founded in 1954 as the Nash Motor Company and Hudson Motor Company kind of merged together. In fact, that was the biggest merge in U.S. history at the time, those two companies coming together. And then, we're going to fast forward over all that nonsense, and it was 1987. Some guy by the name of Lee Iacocca was in charge of Chrysler, and by that time AMC had actually purchased Jeep, and Iacocca really wanted Jeep. I mean, to the point where he bought all of AMC, essentially just so he could have the Jeep company. And at first it was the Jeep Eagle Motor Company, was part of the Chrysler company, or in the Chrysler fold, if you will. And you probably actually used to see Jeep Eagle dealers everywhere. Now Eagle's even kind of been pushed to the side. But yeah, that's how it became part of the Chrysler family. So now you know. And I am 100% convinced it was meant to be after riding in the Javelin, because believe it or not, this has a tick-tock tack in it, which is one of my favorite features of classic Mopars. So that's pretty cool. I had no idea until Dennis and I jumped in and I saw that. So that's pretty awesome. So Dennis, let's shift it into overdrive and learn a little bit about you. What is it about like the AMC/Mopar brand that you love?
Well, I always liked AMC basically because it was just different. It wasn't your regular, run-of-the-mill. I love Camaros and everything, but they're just everywhere. And AMC, when I first got my license and was able to buy a new car and stuff, I just fell in love with the Javelin, just the looks of it.
Right on. So, what is it about the Javelin that you love?
I love the long front end, the cowl induction hood, the sculpted fenders on the front of the car.
Yeah.
It looks like nothing else out there, and I think it's one of the best styled muscle cars ever made.
Yeah, it does have great style, and it does look very muscular with those big front fenders. It's really cool. So if you could have one other Mopar brand vehicle, what would it be?
I think it'd be a 70 Challenger PA.
Okay, those are super cool.
I love those cars.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of my favorites too. The other question that I ask is always, when you're cruising, are you windows up or windows down?
Windows down, gotta be.
Yep, right. You want to get that air blowing and smell the fresh cut grass and everything, right?
Yeah, and I like to hear the car here.
Yeah, the exhaust note. Yeah, and it's fantastic. And this is my first time in a Javelin, I'm going to be honest with you, and I absolutely love it. I love looking out over that long hood with the big bulge on the fenders. It's super cool, and it does make you feel like you're, cruising in the 70s.
It sure does.
I totally dig it. It's pretty rad. So, viewers, if you like this car, make sure you check out the Your Par Facebook and Instagram page to see still pictures of it and maybe learn some more things about the car. Comment below if you have questions, or if you ever want to be on. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And as always, until next time.